Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, violinist, poet, creative entrepreneur, and curator, the one, the only, Folk. For more on Folk, you can read more about her right below this video, but in the meantime, here is my interview with the incredible and one and only Folk. Well, hello, Folk. How are you?
I'm great.
Folk, you are a Renaissance woman. You
Thank you.
literally do it all. You are an acclaimed singer, songwriter, you're a poet, you play the violin like, hello, I could see you with the New York Symphony Orchestra. You're an entrepreneur, you're a creative curator. I have so many questions, but my first question is, Folk, where did you grow up? And when did you realize that you had this creative fire within you?
Awesome. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and it was at the age of like 6, 7, I was introduced. My mom, she has like a arts background, so she grew up doing dance and playing piano. So she made it. It was like imperative for us to be in the arts. And so at like 6, 7, there was a program that came to my elementary school for violin to teach kids in Bedford-Stuyvesant how to play violin. So from there, I think that really sparked my interest and let me know that like creativity was limitless, and that not only could I pick up an instrument, but it just got me comfortable with expressing different sides of myself. So that's where it kind of started around, like, I want to say, what is that, first grade? I was about 6. Yeah, 6 or
It's
7.
amazing, Folk. And what I also love about that, and I'm so happy that you're speaking to this because especially for the young artists out there,
Mhm.
that in a world today where I feel like it still pressures artists to be one thing because it's easily and more easily digestible for them,
Mhm.
that actually being a multi-hyphenate, if it's part of your truth, is so beautiful. I know you can relate. I can relate, performed 25 years professionally, but as a director, using that experience of knowing what it takes to get downstage center in front of a microphone in front of thousands, I know the vulnerabilities of getting from A to B. I can work with an artist with that because I've been through that. For you, whether you have your business hat on, your
Mhm.
creative hat on, your singer hat on, songwriter, violinist, people don't realize that unless they're in the trenches, and correct me if I'm wrong, they all actually help buoy and thread together in a beautiful way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like for me, it comes from a spiritual place because it's a lot of knowingness. Like, you have to like learn yourself if you don't know yourself. And I think that
Wait,
that's
say that again. I'm like, I just gotta chill. And by the way, I was about to do the spiritual thing as well. But you never know when you're talking to someone. I
right,
feel
what
you.
your vibe
And
is.
by the way, did I not tell you for our audience, right before this interview, I had a hectic day, I
Mhm.
literally turned my camera on. I was like, oh, it's a calm vibe.
Yeah, yeah. He literally said that.
Sorry, I'm making this about me. Folk, keep going.
No, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it comes from a spiritual place because I know for me, like, I struggled a lot with identity and what does it mean, and like putting on so many hats. It was always like people would comment on that, like, well, what is it that you want? And it's like, well, all of it. I want to sing, I want to play my violin, I want to do my poetry, I want to implement that in, I want to, do stuff that I'm doing outside of the music. I want to express myself in those ways because I feel like that's just what resonates on a soul level with what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, what I feel like is my path. And so that's essentially what I mean when I say it comes from a spiritual place, because it took a lot of, as you were saying, back to like the whole vulnerability bit. In order for you to be vulnerable, you have to let yourself feel things and go there. And that takes sometimes breaking down the walls based on like certain, I guess, boxes or molds that society tries to put you in based on your culture, your ethnicity, your race, or whatever. So you kind of, for me, I've just been on a journey. I'm still on a journey of, self-acceptance, self-love, and that's directly channeled through like my spirituality.
Well, look at you are folk, an artist that I like to say is an artist with a capital A, because not only are they willing to go into the vulnerable, the mess, the imperfections, but they truly, truly are a vessel. You are a vessel. Your North Star is very clear. And for other people's expectations or not knowing what you are,
Mhm,
we know we've both done the work. That's
mhm,
on them. That's their own insecurity. That's their own fear. That's their own
right,
maybe not going after their own bliss, whatever it may be.
mhm.
You have such a beautiful aura about you, and it's all over your work as well. I'm curious to know specifically when you're songwriting,
Mhm.
what is it about a song? Does it come to you? Does it come to you in the form of a feeling, an emotion, a trauma, an experience, all of it?
Mhm.
And does it just need to get out? Is it speaking to you? Get out?
I definitely get inspired through experiences a lot. Experiences, basically sometimes random thoughts. For me, a lot of my song ideas um come in the shower because I feel like the bathroom, right? Or the washroom or whatever you call it is where you release and where you're your most vulnerable. You're cleansing your body, you're cleansing your aura, and you're releasing and letting go physically and in a spiritual sense. I'm a
Do we want
firm.
to go there? I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you know
Yeah.
what I call my daily shower? And you're going to think I'm woo woo, but whatever, I don't care. Again, not to box myself. I look at a shower every morning as a daily baptism. And,
Mm,
and for me, it's a daily baptism of my creative self of
mm,
yesterday to set myself up for today and the future.
mm.
So I'm so with you right now. And by the way, I'm interrupting so much because I haven't been able to have this conversation before. And so it's really cool. So, oh, sorry, keep going.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So absolutely. Like I actually really love that you said that, a daily baptism, because it really is like after a long day, or even just like maybe you had a dream or something, whatever that you may not have, whatever. Um, it lifts your spirits when you can cleanse yourself. So I feel like in that process, my mind is just clear. I'm not necessarily thinking about what I have to do for the day, but rather like, let me focus on clearing my energy, and just naturally certain thoughts come to me. And if I'm writing a song already, more thoughts will come to me that help me finish the song or complete the melody, or so that's kind of how I write. And then I also like to challenge myself by just trying out different things. So I'll do writing prompts and I'll write with other artists. And yeah, I'm great at, that's why when you were saying you're interrupted, I'm like, not at all, because I'm great at listening to people, their stories, their lives, because that also is an experience for me that helps me write, you
Yeah.
know?
Folk, I mean, what I'm also hearing from you with that, I can also relate to. I like to say that I'm a best idea wins director. You know, most people, artists, they like to be in their own lane and my way or the highway. But I feel like you are also a best idea wins artist. You're
Mm,
like, listen, and you just throw it out and then you see what sticks. And I love that idea of you in the shower because it's like, it's the vessel getting
mm,
clear. It's the vessel with divine, with spirit, whatever, you want to say. I love that also. In my last question, unfortunately, it has to be the last, but I could speak with you forever. This
mhm.
obviously has been a time for all artists, especially, to really look within. These past 18 months in lockdown, I'm curious what these last 18 months have taught you about yourself in terms of moving forward as both an artist and human of the planet.
Right. I love that question because every time I talk to, whether it be clients or other artists or people that I meet, I'm always talking about, listen, if you didn't go inside during the quarantine, what did you do? You know what I mean? Because it's like you had no choice. You were quarantined. I remember my 27th birthday. It was weeks after the lockdown, and I was already, it was like my spirit knew that something was going to prompt me doing a lot of self work, because I'm the type of person prior to 2020. And even now, I'm very much like, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I'm an Aries. I don't know. So I like productivity. I'm very task driven. But it taught me a lot about flow. And also, it also just, being that my birthday was like 2 weeks after the original lockdown, it really fast tracked, I feel like, the healing process that I feel like was necessary. Because when you grow up in a place like New York City, it's not that you don't have the space or the time, but it can feel like that. And so, had the lockdown not happened, I don't know if I would be where I'm at on my journey as far as self acceptance, self love, healing from past trauma, calling a thing, not letting it be brushed off in the name of, well, this has to get done. Just healing trauma. So it was a very tumultuous but needed time, because it helped me go inside of myself, like you said, for my music and outside of myself. A lot of outside of the music, I mean, a lot of the choices that I made prior to, I really had to reflect on and think about, like, do you even want to do this? Do you even like this thing? Do you even like this person? So I found myself basically just dealing with a lot of like friend breakups and shifts in my life and shifts in relationships, and even a different attitude towards my music and my creativity, and the acceptance of being a multi hyphenated creative, and not letting other people's judgments or anything like that affect what it is I know I am, who it is I know I am. So the quarantine and COVID and all of that definitely was bittersweet, but I feel like on an energetic and spiritual level, totally necessary.
Oh, God bless you. You
Thank
are an
you.
inspiration. You obviously have done the work on yourself, on your art, but it's because of that we as a world gets to experience you that much more clearly, clearer, and I'm so grateful for the time you took today to speak with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was awesome. Thank you so much.